Welcome to Harvest International. It is great to be here. Yesterday, I got to go and I listened to the All-State Choir. My daughter was part of the All-State Choir, and they sang a song about flowers. And I did not think I was going to be so moved with a song about flowers. And that they were singing, and I thought that the director was a puppeteer, and the choir were all on his strings because they had these chromatic parts where they had to sing going or go back or but they're always singing in a different tone and at least three or four tones, and they all did it together. And I thought, man, this song is something else. Found myself crying like a little girl. Didn't mean to. I hope nobody saw me, because it just brought this pleasant feeling of this is how nature is. And the pianist, if it was my own choir, my choir they would be frantic because the piano player was doing nothing that went along with what the choir was singing. They were just doing like raindrops. And as the flower was growing, the pianist was doing raindrops. It was fantastic. I wish that some of us would have been able to go there and hear them. They did a wonderful job. So kudos to my daughter for being part of that. But today's message has to do with laughter. And you know, it is. Last we were talking a little about God and how heaven seems, or the week before that. So today I want to talk about laughter, because laughter is something that we do here, but it is also something that we will do in heaven. We're going to laugh. I have found something about laughter that is very interesting, because I would listen to comedy acts, and I would hear the comedians' jokes. And I find that when I'm listening to the comedy acts on TV, the jokes are not funny. But you hear the audience just cracking up, and it's like, what's wrong with the audience? The audience will start laughing, but the joke wasn't funny. And then the guy would say another joke, and the audience would laugh, and it's like, well, that joke was less funny than the first joke. And at the end of watching the whole show, I'm like, that comedian wasn't any good. So why did the people laugh? The reality about laughter, it is contagious to be around. When you laugh, you make others want to laugh. See, there are certain sounds that produce laughter. So if I go, ha ha, hee hee, ha ha ha, hee hee, ha ha ha, hee hee, ha ha ha, hee hee. See, people didn't even mean to. I just made the sound, then people started to laugh. Now, it gets funnier when you start adding some other sounds, then you start, ha ha ha, hee hee, whoo. And then it gets funnier. So when you get around people and you start laughing, other folks will start laughing too. So today's message has to do all with laughter, but we're going to look from a biblical perspective of why God created such a thing as laughter. In reality, your body, your face muscles use less muscles to laugh than it does to frown. Frowning gives you age, while laughter gives you youth. See, you can tell people that frown a lot. They start having those frown lines. You've seen men that have these lines that just go across the... I have one right here, one starting to form. I bind that, y'all. Putting some cream and stuff to get rid of that. You know, that's from frowning. We get frowning lines. I watch one of my sons, when he eats, is his happiest moment in life is when he eats, but he frowns when he's eating. Just don't understand. I'm like, are you mad at the food? Why are you frowning? You know, you're supposed to be happy. You're enjoying the food, but instead it's like, why are you frowning, man? So I got to keep on you frowning again. Stop frowning. You're eating. It's a joyful thing. We eat. A cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. I thought this was such a cute picture. Because, having a baby in the house and seeing babies, their babies love to smile, they love to laugh. They love it. And when you get a baby that enjoys smiling and laughing, they usually are pleasant. They're not the ones that are always crying. At least that has been the case in my house. My kids that enjoy laughing seldomly enjoyed crying. But a cheerful heart is its medicine. Now, this comes from the Bible, as you can read for yourself. It's in Proverbs. The best medicine you can have, better than any Tylenol or any other thing that you can get over the counter, is laughter. If you can look, see, my mom used to say some things that made no sense when I was a kid. It made no sense. It's like, that don't make, come on now. And she would use improper English. So I'm going to use improper English. Yes, I'm an educated man, and I do use improper English because that's how my mom spoke. And she said, sometimes you have to take badness and laugh. What does that mean? How I understood it. Sometimes the things that the enemy is throwing at me to make me come down to the ground, I have to look at it and laugh. And really get a chuckle. I remember there's times that I've had to give my kids a spanking, and what they did, I'm supposed to be mad about, but I find myself trying not to laugh because it's funny. But of course, I can't laugh because if they realize I'm laughing, then they'll probably do that again. They're not supposed to do that, but it was funny. So I kind of just look away for a little bit and laugh, just a little, and then come back and have my mean face. And it's like, okay, what they did was funny. All right? Y'all looking at me like, you've never experienced anything like this. Sometimes kids do things to where it is funny. And if they were a comedian, they can probably make a living out of it. But it's usually a wrong thing to do. Like, going and painting your brother's face with nail polish. And then the brother shows up and, look what he did to me. And you're seeing all this color all over his face. And in the inside, you're like, oh, this is so funny. I want to take a picture of this, but, it's not right. He put nail polish all over his brother's face while he was asleep. Then it's like, I'm going to deal with you in a little bit. Come wash your face, and the whole time you're going to the bathroom, you're laughing. So, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. See, sometimes we don't understand that the opposite of laughter dries us up. Have you stewed on being angry before? Anybody in here been angry at something and thought about it, and the next day you're angrier? Anybody done that? Have you ever got so angry that you are just angry, but you don't know why you're angry, but you know you're angry? And then everybody that gets around you, you're like, oh, why are you smiling? It's just, you just get on my nerves. Because you're angry, you want to stay angry, and then at the end you're like, why am I angry? And let a month comes by, it's like, that was so dumb. I did that whole episode for nothing. Whole entire episode. Went through a whole, I'm going to get a divorce. I'm divorcing you. And at the end of the month, why was I divorcing you for? Because I didn't put the bowl where you wanted me to put the bowl. Yeah, don't do that again. That made me really mad. It turns out to be something not so important. So we end up getting all dried up over nonsense. Really. Think about it. I have kids that can, they can just, I don't even have words, and I speak other languages. I have some of those kids. But every day I have to forget whatever stuff they did. Because if not, I'm not going to be happy. Here's the reality. My good kids are going to leave my house. Yeah, they will. My kids that behave bad, they're going to leave my house too. Eventually, my wife and I are going to be celebrating the empty nest syndrome. Yes, you heard right. We will celebrate it until when they come back home with grandkids, they'll be like, okay, here we go again. Now we're the free babysitters. So we got to learn to look at things and laugh. Here's what science has said. Laughter is good for our health. Man, they should have just gone with what the Bible said. Laughter reduces stress. It fights against depression and sorrow. It fosters a positive outlook on life and puts you in an all-around good mood. Laughter also lowers blood pressure and impacts the cells in your body, preventing disease and setting you up to live long and strong. Why are we not laughing more? Let me read it again. How many of you need some dosage of this medicine? Laughter is good for our health. Laughter reduces stress. I need stress reduction. What can I do to reduce my stress? I need to laugh. I need to have lots of stress reduction, so I need to have a double portion. Laugh more. It fights against depression. Well, I teach middle school. I fight depression all the time. To have a room full 11 to 14-year-olds all day long, every day. Oh, come on. I fight depression too. And sorrow. Sometimes I feel sorry that I can't whoop them. I fight sorrow daily. Fosters a positive outlook on life. Instead of like, why am I going here? It's like, this is why I'm going here. And puts in an all-around good mood. Puts me in a good mood instead of being all sour. I get in a good mood. I need to laugh so I can be in a good mood. One of my sons, when he was younger, I would spank him, and he would go in circles. And I'm spanking him, and I'm doing this, and doing... And then by the time he finished, I'm in my room doing this, and I'm like, I can't keep doing this. I look like I'm drunk. Because I'm just going in circles trying to spank this child. It wasn't very long to where I just put him again to, you better not move from the bed, because I'm not doing that circle thing. But if you were to see me whooping them, you wouldn't have thought, I feel so sorry for the child. You would have thought, that's funny, Pastor. He's just making you go around in circles. And it was. We have another young man that he's been adopted. He used to be our foster child. That he will go hide underneath the bed. Every time he had to get a whooping, he'll go and hide underneath the bed. But he didn't realize I'm strong. So all I did was lift up the mattress. And he's like, oh, I didn't think you could get me. The mattress is not that heavy, buddy. It's not that heavy, not for me. So, so we got to look at things that would normally make us bitter and start to see the funny things about it. Because, when you're telling somebody, they're laughing. So obviously, it has to be pretty funny. Because if they're laughing, it has to be funny. My wife was talking to somebody, and she says, this moment is not funny right now, but in a few months, it'll be funny. Is that when you're going through some stuff, it's not funny at all because you're going through it. Because it's not funny. It's like, I'm mad. But then when you have to retell it months from now, it's like, wait a second, that was funny. That was a funny moment, Yeah, you couldn't laugh about it at the moment. There have been many times that my wife and I will wake up in the morning and we retell something that happened in our lives, previous month, previous year, and we're cracking up. It's like, man, that is crazy. That is funny. But right now, it may not be funny. Right now, we're going through it. But it's not funny right now. But look for things to change. so you can find the positive about it. Laughter lowers your blood pressure. The Bible says in the last days, man's heart will fail them. That's in the Bible. The leading cause of death in the United States is hypertension. Number one cause. Wait, all I need to do is laugh, and that helps that condition. Yeah. Laugh. Look at the things that we do. We look at football. We're into football, and football gets to be serious. It's very, I've never seen someone in the football field just burst out laughing. Have you? I haven't seen it. Tennis. Basketball. Soccer. See, the things that we entertain ourselves with are not necessarily good for our health. We go to watch comedy. I watch comedy shows. A lot of it is nasty. Sit there and be like, what? And this is funny. That's not funny. I want to know about that. That's nasty. But every once in a while, I find someone that says something in a way that I understand. There's a new comedian that, well, he's not new. I don't know how new he is. But he makes jokes about the stuff that I do for a living. Because I do this every day. Good morning, hoodies off. Hoodies off. Hats off. Hoodies off. Good morning. Hoodie off. Hats off. Good morning. Take your wrap off. Good morning. Earbuds out. Good morning. Hoodie, earbud, wrap. I think I'm going to make a recording. And I'm just going to hit play every morning. That's going to be funny, y'all. Because I'm saying the same thing every day, so I might as well just make a recording of it and just stand there. And they'll be so confused because they'll hear my voice. They'll hear my voice, but just see me smiling. And my voice is going to say, hoodie off, please. Good morning. Hoodie off. Good. Wraps off, because, some of them wrap their hair. Cap off. And good morning. Good morning. Hoodie off. And I'm just going to stand there and smile. You know how many people are going to... Is he talking? And I'm... Now, if I can videotape it, that'll be wonderful. I'm not allowed to, but it would be funny. All right. So this impacts my cells. Now, my cells have to regenerate. So what makes me healthy is the ability of my cells being able to regenerate. If my cells cannot regenerate, then I get older faster. So laughter helps me altogether not get diseases. Why some people are always sick? Do you notice there are people who are always sick? I've had kids to come to my face during the height of the pandemic. Mr. White, I don't feel good. Well, why are you in my face? Can I get a pass? You can get a pass. The next day, they're out with COVID. But I'm at school. To meet someone else, Mr. White, I don't feel too good. It's COVID. Why are you all in my face? I told you this is a chorus class. I put the seat so you'll be back there, and I'm up here and I can stay without my mask on. But you're in my face with COVID. Well, but I didn't get COVID. I was around people with COVID, but I didn't get COVID. How is it I was around people with COVID? My wife had COVID. My daughter has COVID. My son had COVID. I think all my sons had COVID. I never got COVID. I was around all the sick people, and I didn't get it. I wonder, is it because I learned to laugh? I have to learn to laugh at me. That's the hardest lesson to learn. To learn to look at yourself and not be so serious about you. Because there are times to where I'm like, what are you doing? And I start to laugh, and I'm like, I hope nobody's looking at you because you're laughing at yourself. And it's like, well, because that was dumb. You ever had a conversation with yourself? You know not to answer back, but as long as you said the statement and you're not answering back, you're not so crazy. I watched Donna. Donna asks herself questions and then she answers them. I ask myself questions and stay quiet. If I answer them, they answered inside my head. Not Donna is like, so what do you think I should do? What I think you should do is go ahead and get that vacuum and start vacuuming. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. And I'm looking at Donna like, ooh, okay. God has made me laugh, and all who hear will laugh with me. Sarah, Genesis 21:6. See, Sarah, God, Jesus, well, it was God. It was a pre-incarnate Christ, so we're not going to go into that. Okay, that's another lesson. So she got a word that she's going to have a baby. I want you to know how odd this story is, because the Bible said her breast had already dried up. That means that she no longer had breasts, she had skin. She was old. She was an old lady, y'all. And she hears the angel say, next year, your wife is going to have a baby. And when she heard it, she laughed. She laughed about it. Now, why was she laughing? She was laughing because it's like, how in the world I'm going to have a baby? I'm old. How in the world I'm going to give suckle to a baby? All right, I want you to understand the irony, okay? Her breasts are dried up, but she's going to breastfeed. Okay, you follow the irony, right? It's like, okay, this poor baby is going to be sucking on dust, It's a poor kid. He's going to be so malnourished. So she heard it, and she started laughing. Whatever condition you find yourself in, do understand that God can change your condition. Sometimes we get so settled that where we are is where we're going to stay. But if God is telling you something totally different, learn to laugh about it and go with it. Because a year later, she had a baby. And no, the baby wasn't sucking on dust. What she thought withered away and went with age, she was able to regain it again. You see, we went out, my wife and I, we wanted to have more pigs because, we are now new farmers. Yeah, so pastor's working on his doctorate degree and learning how to farm at the same time. Irony, I know. I grew up in Miami. Ooh, I'm shaming all the Miami people. So we decided we're going to buy some more pigs because our pig wasn't reproducing fast enough. And we're like, by now, come on, piggy. Do your piggy duty and make more piggies. So we went and bought some pigs and another huge pig and put the pig with our pig. And then our 16-year-old daughter said, Dad, the other pig is pregnant. And I'm like, why is it pregnant? Because the tummy is bigger than it's ever been before and is hanging a little lower and her teats are growing. And I'm like, Lord God, you got such a sense of humor. Because now that we went and bought some other pigs, our first pig is pregnant. And as days have gone by, come find out, my 16-year-old is right. The other pig is pregnant. I could have gotten mad about that, y'all, because I spent $600 on the other pigs. $600 of my dollars on the other pig. I wasted $600. Instead, I sat there and was like, this is funny. Now I got to make this pin bigger because it's not enough. We made it for this size, and lo and behold, God knew all along that he was going to give me a surprise. More bacon. Please don't write me if you're a vegetarian. You don't have to see us eat it. I did say I'm being a farmer. That's what farmers raise pigs for. He will yet fill your mouth with laughter and your lips with shouts of joy. This is in Job. Y'all understand when you're reading through Job? There's nothing in Job where you want to scream, hallelujah. There's nothing in Job to where it's like, good going, man. All right, you done good. You lost all your children. You lost all your wealth. You lost all your cattle. All right, thumbs up. There's nothing like that in Job. Job ends up being some sorry stuff, man. All your kids died, all your sons, they were having a party, and the storm came and just killed them all. I'm the only one to survive, so I can tell you. And then as soon as that one finished, your daughters were out having a good time, and they all died, man. They all died. They're dead. I was the only one. And I was out in your field, and all your cattle got killed by some ice storm or something, the storm that came up, and I was the only one to survive. I'm like, why was it for every time there was bad news, there was one survivor? That's when you don't want any survivors, so you don't hear the bad news. And then his best friend showed up and said, you need to repent. You did something wrong. God doesn't do this to good people. You need to sit here and repent to God because you know you messed up somewhere. You're not as good as you thought you were. You just a really bad sinner because we've never seen anyone get treated like how you're being treated. Even his friends turn on him. And then you're going to read this in Job. Wait. He's yet to fill your mouth with laughter. Don't give up yet. Don't give up yet. You're giving up too early. Life is not over yet. You know, yes, you may be down and out, but you can consider yourself to be up and coming. The good thing about falling down on your face is that you can't fall down again because you're already down on your face. When you're at your lowest, there's no other place to go except up. If you're at the place where you're about to throw the towel in, I'm so sorry, I've done everything that I can do and everything. Just give it a bit more. Because the law of gravity says whatsoever goes up goes down. But in God's law is whatsoever is down is coming back up. Whatever it is. I remember going to Portugal, and in Portugal we had a tour guide, and the tour guide was telling us how one time in history, Portugal was the country that was ruling the world. And then he says, and right now we're nothing. And he said it was such a tone, it was just so matter-of-fact tone, that I burst out laughing. And other people looked at me like, why are you laughing? I'm like, because how he said it was funny. They're like, well, what you're laughing about is not funny. I'm not laughing about what he said. I'm laughing about how he said it. It was funny how he said it. See, sometimes you can be out and then find something that's funny about being out. Do understand that the comedians that we listen to right now tell us all their problems, and we find it funny. Kevin Hart, you know, he's like yay big. He's a mighty man. He's just mighty. He's just a snicker bite, you know, because he's small. But when you watch him in movies, he makes fun of his height. He does. You know, like in Jumanji, when he appeared in that body. And he's like, you get to be in that, and this is what I get to be in. You know, but the person that's saying that is the real him. You know, he's making fun of himself. But we find it so funny. Now, he's saying jokes about things that when he had to deal with it, it wasn't funny to him. You can tell he wants to be taller. There's a surgery for that. Maybe someone needs to talk. It's very painful. They break your legs, and they put these metal rods in it and stretch it where your leg is broken, and then your leg will start to heal, and they'll create that little space in there. And then if you want to be taller, they'll break your leg somewhere else and stretch it, and they'll keep on doing that until you're as tall as you want to be. I think I'd rather laugh. Right? Laughter's a lot better than that. So don't give up on the moments that you can be happy. See, this generation of kids is very different than my generation. In my generation, man, you can get beat up and everything, and the next day it's like, man, I want to try again. And it's like, you beat me up, but I've been lifting weights. Yeah, I'm ready to fight you now. You get beat up again, you're like, I'm gonna go hit more weights. I'm gonna work out more. Kids today, whatever happened to them, they think they want to kill themselves. They're just going to kill myself. And what's that going to solve? Once you're dead, you're dead. I mean, I've never seen someone committed suicide and then wake up and change their mind. Do you know that most people that commit suicide, like if they jump off the bridge, most of them are sorry they jumped off the bridge right after they jumped off the bridge? But they don't have a choice. They already jumped. They can't change their action because the action is already done. We get this a lot in this generation. We give up so quickly. And we give up quickly about the smallest things. I don't feel loved. Well, give yourself a chance. Someone will love you. Things are bound to change. So, he will fill your mouth with laughter and your lips with shouts of joy. For everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. So there's a time to be born, a time to die, a time to sow, a time to reap, a time to laugh, a time to mourn. Oh, that all goes with this verse. There's a time for everything. Under the heavens, there's a time where this is appropriate. There's a time where laughing is what you should do. I think we should all take some time to learn to laugh. All of us. Just learn to laugh about something. There's some things that are not funny at all. But if you dissect it enough, you can find something funny in it. See, I watch our little kids, and our little kids don't know I laugh at them. I sit there, and they think they're so smart, but what they're doing is so dumb. And they're acting like, nobody else knows how to do what I'm doing, and you're watching them, and it's like, okay, that's not smart. But I'm going to watch them so I can just laugh. We have Leilani here. Leilani is 4 years old. Leilani is scared of the dog. She is terrified of the dog, only because the dog knocked her down one time. She's a quick learner, though. If he could knock her down one time, he could knock her down every time. But eventually, Leilani is going to grow up, and the dog won't be able to knock her down. But she might still be afraid of dogs. You know what's funny? The moment she comes out the car and realizes the dog is loose. That is funny. Because she gets that one moment where she doesn't know what to do. You have to see it. It is the funniest thing. She'll come out the car and then see the dog is loose, and she's like, and then she turns around, Mommy! And it's like just for that one instant, it's like face to face with the dog. And the dog was looking at her the same way. I don't know what to do. We both don't know. I know you're scared of me. I'm trying to stay away from you because you're going to get me in trouble. Because, the moment I knock you down, I'm going to get a whooping. I'm supposed to stay away from you. But And then, to make it worse, the brother don't care that the sister is afraid of the dog. So the brother, the moment he sees the sister freeze, he calls the dog. Come here, Bishop. Come here, Bishop. Yeah, they named the dog Bishop. This is not supposed to be funny because I'm an ordained bishop. So they named the dog after me. Okay? I could get mad about that, but instead, I called the dog Bishop too. Come here, Bishop. Come here, Bishop. Come on, Bishop. Come on. You see, because sometimes we got to take the stuff and just laugh about it. All right? So the one girl, she is scared of the dog. The brother is calling the dog to him, which he's right by the Leilani. So then the mom is like, Lamar, stop calling the dog over. And I'm like, this whole thing is funny. This whole thing needs to be a TV show. That whole entire thing that happened, it's funny. All right. Now, I don't want Leilani to be knocked over by the dog, but I'm going to sit from a distance and I'm going to enjoy the moment. Because laughter is good for me. Okay? I live a very stressful life. And I'm going to sit there and I'm going to enjoy the moment. Yes, if I called the dog would come to me. Yes, but I would miss the moment. So I just left the dog. Nobody got hurt. Some of you looking at you go, that's not right, Pastor. That's not right. It is. It's so funny. You know, there's some things that happen in our church that I end up talking about over and over and over and over because it may not have been funny back then. Like we had an incident that happened in the beach that I can't say over YouTube. A lot of wee with the water. But that was funny. So I still go over it, and every once in a while I still talk about it. So when I die, y'all put wee. Some of you will understand what it means on a tombstone, okay? The wicked plot against the godly. They snarl at them in defiance, but the Lord just laughs, for he sees their day of judgment coming. One of the things that we're going to experience in heaven is we're going to be able to laugh. How do I know we're going to be able to laugh? Because God laughs. And I realize this about God's laughter. God has a dark sense of humor. Because whenever God laughs, he laughs because we're doing something where we think he doesn't have power to intervene. Like the world is going against God, and God is laughing. Well, why is he laughing? Because they can't stop God. The audacity. They're sitting there trying to, I'm going to read another one. I'm going to show you. Okay? Because he who sits in the heavens laughs, and the Lord holds them in derision. So who sits in heaven? This is God. What does derision mean? Mocking. God mocks them. Wait, y'all don't get it. Look at what he's trying to do. Look at that little thing trying to do something. Ooh, you see what he's trying You see what he's trying to do. He thinks he can affect me. God does that. God laughs. You know how many times you say you'll never do something? Never. And then God is in heaven. You going to do what? You think you can control that? Watch. And it never becomes like, I'm so sorry. I said I never will because I'm doing it. I remember when I left Anniston, Alabama, 1991, October of 1991, I said these words, I will never, ever, ever come back here again. In summer of 1999, I moved back. The year of new beginnings, 8 years later, I'm beginning again in the same old place I said I'll never come back to. And in this place, 4 kids were added to my family. The place that I was never, ever, ever coming back to. Ooh, and it makes it worse because I made a promise to myself. I'm sure God was in heaven laughing. You know why I made that promise to myself? Because there was this man that stood in my face at church, and he called himself a prophet. And he said, God's not finished with you here. You will be back here again. And I wanted to punch him in the face. I did. I want to punch him and tell him the old line my mama said to knock you out. Be speaking those words on me that I'm coming back here. Do understand, when I left here, I was 21 years old. There was nothing to do here. And when I came back in 1999, there was still nothing to do here. I'm like, who wants to give up Miami for Anniston, Alabama? Oh my goodness. You have to understand, there are people that drove by here that knew this place. And since they drove by, they said, yeah, I know Alliston. Oh my, it's Anniston. Yeah, I know. I drive by there all the time. Drive by. And then God's going to send me to go to the drive-by place. To live there. And minister there. And it's like, God has a sense of humor. I had to and now when I leave here, I can't wait to get back. Because this is now home for me. I go to Miami and I get tired of those parking lots. Now, y'all like, who gets tired of parking lots? Does he go to Walmart, get all mad with the parking lots at Walmart? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the I-95. Supposed to be the interstate. You're not going no interstates. You're trying to just go the next 15 feet. You go 10 or 15 feet and then wait for another 15 minutes to go 10 or 15 feet and end up 2 hours in the traffic. And without traffic, it will take you 5 minutes to get home. With traffic, it takes you 2 hours. I'll sit there and say, wait, I don't have that problem in Anniston. Not a problem at all. I can go places really quick here. My biggest complaint is the tractors taking one each lane and you can't pass them. That's my biggest complaint. But at least I'm going to like 60, instead of 15 feet. Where God sent me, it's a place where I can relax. My dad came here one time and we were at the parking lot in Walmart, and he's blowing the horn because the person is not moving fast enough. I said, Dad, we don't blow the horn here. You got to understand, my dad lives in Panama. There's not a silent moment in the road in Panama. There's not one single silent moment. People live on those horns. They do, and they don't beep. They don't do that. And like, dude, there's a car in front of me. What do you want me to do? I can't go past that car. You just got to sit there and wait. Hey! Because like that's going to make it better. That's... I'm getting a little like, that's not a place I want. Panama is wonderful as long as you're not driving. Okay, as long as you're not driving, Panama is wonderful. I remember one day we were at our beach house in Panama, and I was handing the keys to Sister Erica, and I said, your turn. Man, you had to see as all the blood left her face. Because she was like, the last thing I want to do is drive here. I do not want to drive here. Because, you can be on a 2-lane road. One road in each lane. To turn to a 4-lane road in each lane. I'm not exaggerating. Okay, those that have been to Panama know I'm not exaggerating. You're on one lane, and the person next to you, you can shake their hand. Hey, how are you? Nice to see you. You're that close. And it's like, how come there are no accidents? These people could drive, y'all. I'm telling you, they could drive. They're driving cars like if they were motorcycles. Yeah, and we had to learn to sit there and laugh. So I knew that wasn't giving her the keys. I was just doing that one moment to laugh. And I did. I cracked up because it was so funny. We had to learn to, we bent something on the car. And I'm like, I'm in Panama. I got some innovative people that can bend this stuff back. So I went to a guy and I said, I bent this. Can you help me bend it back? He said, sure, I can help you bend it back. He tied it up with a rope and tied the other side of the rope to a coconut tree. He says, now hit reverse. I'll tell you when to stop. I hit reverse. That thing bent back like how he's supposed to. And like, it's done. Fixed. We didn't have no body shop. We had coconuts. That fixed it. You know, God is in heaven, and the things that would make God mad, he laughs about. The only thing that makes God mad are God's people. God's enemy do not make him mad. Who makes you mad? Isn't the people that are going against you make you mad? Those people are supposed to make you laugh. I mean, come on. We had one kid. He raised his hand at me like he was going to hit me. He wasn't going to hit me at all. I just want to see you flint. I said, boy, I just had the one instant where I thought to myself, he's going to hit you and then you're going to hit him back. He's like, you'll hit me back? I said, yeah, I would hit you back. And the problem is, I'll hit you harder than you hit me. Why would you hit me back? Because you hit me. But would you stop yourself from hitting me? No, I would not. Why not? That's called self-defense. I defended myself. And in my head, when I saw you want to hit me, I found it funny. Because I hit hard. I already played it out in my whole head. He's going to hit me. I'm going to punch him in the face. He's going to be knocked out on the floor. And I'm like, this is funny. You know, he thought he was going to hurt me. I mean, doesn't he know my face got used to being hit? Wait, you don't understand. I grew up with two older brothers. My face wasn't no sacred place. It's been punched many times. It's felt many blows at different distances. It knows how to handle the pain. It even knows how to turn the right way for you not to have positive contact. See, some of you don't have no idea what you're talking about. See, if you hit me here, I'm going to go here. And at the end, you did this. And then you didn't grow up with my brothers. I'm going to have positive contact. Back out. I'm so sorry. Are you okay? It's on video. You hit me first. I get to defend myself. I didn't mean to hit you that hard. My body just reacted. See, I still get that look. Some are laughing and some are looking at me so serious like, I can't believe Pastor is saying that. It is my right to defend myself. That is my right. If you hit me, it is my right to defend myself. I don't work with kids. If someone like this hit me, then it's like, stop it. I work with kids. You understand? It's not the same thing. Okay? Some of these kids are bigger than me. You know, we do have some small kids too. Now, if they hit me, I'll be like, it's okay. It's all right. Go sit down over there. But the bigger kids, no. They got to know. Listen, I will defend myself. What if you get fired? Well, I look for another job. It's my right to defend myself. Do you understand this? We got to laugh at things. Yes, in one moment I do think it through, and then I find it funny, and I end up laughing up by myself. What are you laughing about? Oh, never mind. You ever had one of those that you're laughing and it's like people are like, what's so funny? I'm like, it's an inside joke. Oh, well, inside people know inside me. It's an inside joke. See, there's some things around you. Like right now, I want you to stop and think about your day. Your regular day. Your regular job. Your everyday thing. How many times have you had an instant that something could be funny, but you stop yourself from laughing? I know my wife and I as teachers, we can't laugh of a lot of stuff. But there have been times to where I'm like, and then the kids are like, Mr. White is trying not to laugh. I'm like, don't make it worse. Don't make it worse. Because that shouldn't be funny. But it is funny. We got to enjoy the life that God has given us. So if a comedian can make a living making fun of themselves, they've had to come away from where it now hurts them. They've had to be able to come out of that. This no longer hurts me. I guarantee you, Kevin Hart is running to the bank every day. He makes fun of himself in front of millions of people and get paid for it. What can you make fun of yourself that will be profitable for you? What kind of life are you living that someone else can find the joy in it? See, I just watched one of my sons smile and I'm like, man, he made me want to laugh because he looks so creepy doing it. It just bursts out laughing. You see, there are moments to where you capture life to where it's like, okay, that's funny. That is really funny. I remember going to the beach and someone fell in the water. Man, I laughed. Erica went with us in Ocho Rios and hit herself in the head. That wasn't funny. But next time we went somewhere, she fell again. It reminded me that she fell on the previous trip. And the last one, she said, oh, I didn't fall, y'all. I didn't fall. I almost fell, but I didn't fall. You know, we're like, okay, this is going to be a reoccurring thing. Every time we go on a trip, she's going to fall. So that is funny. All right, she might get hurt, but the fact is that she waits for vacations to fall. That is funny, okay? It's like, all right, we're planning another vacation. Here comes, she's going to fall any moment on this vacation. All right, because it's part of the deal. We paid for this fall. It's included in the trip. We have to learn to enjoy our lives. See, Christian people are sometimes the worst people to be around because we don't know how to live. Pastor, you go on vacation? Yes. I get around these people. Oh, I would love to travel around the world. That's not true. People that tell you that, they're lying. Oh, I'm not lying. Yeah, you are lying. No, I'm not. You can do the same thing I do. Save up and go. There's no one stopping someone else from traveling. See, this is what they're saying. I wish that someone would pay for a trip so I can go travel. That's what they're saying. Because we've told them, we do payment arrangements. What do you mean? You pay monthly and you get to go. Oh, I won't be able to do it. Whatever you want to do, you do. Oh, I know. I live with these teenage boys that I keep telling them what not to do, and they keep on doing it. because they want to do it. So they're going to do what they want to do. I'm just getting in their way. Soon I won't be in their way at all. And then someone else is going to put them somewhere that they didn't want to go. Because society teaches you that some things you can do and some things you can't do. I'm hoping they get the lesson before society teaches them. We have to learn to enjoy life. No one likes being around a grouch. Come on now. How many people here love being around grouchy folks? Raise your hand. Nobody does. Some of us are grouches. Some of us are. I mean, you just suck all the air out of the room. If you learn to be grouchy because you're unhappy, so now you want to share your unhappiness with everybody. So some of us need to learn to hee hee, hoo. We got to learn to let go of stuff. Stop being so, I don't even know the right word to say, party pooper. Walk in and know how to have a good time. I don't drink alcohol. I didn't grow up drinking alcohol, and I went on a cruise to Alaska, and they wanted to do something nice for me, and they ordered me this drink, and it was blue, and I don't drink alcohol. But they spent a lot of money on it, and they told me it cost a lot, and they wanted to give me something different, something I'm not used to, because, they wanted to treat me. So they gave me this blue alcoholic drink. And I took a sip, and it was horrible. I never drank turpentine before. But I could imagine it must have tasted similar. And they're like, it was very, very expensive. It was very, very expensive. So I'm like, okay, you know me. I don't like to waste stuff. So I sat there and taught myself how to drink that thing. And it had a side effect. My face showed that I didn't like it. So everybody on the table is laughing that I'm drinking this turpentine. And they're like, okay, you don't like it at all. Why are you drinking? Because you told me it's expensive. And I don't want you to, it's not like I can return it. I want my money back. I didn't like it. I couldn't get it. So I drank it. But after I drank a sip, I would drink the water of the person next to me. And I drank another sip. And without knowing, I drank all the water of the table. But I wasn't finished with my drink. I still had some more blue stuff left over. So I started looking at my neighbor's table. You got some water over there? Because I'm trying to down all this turpentine. The whole time I was suffering with an expensive drink that was bought for me to show me love and kindness, my table was enjoying by laughing at me. Now, I didn't think they were making fun of me, to understand. It was a funny moment. It was just one of those moments. They created something that is memorable. That means that's a memory to remember. That from now on, every time I see a blue slushy, I think of that drink. And I can't drink a blue drink. Even if it's a fruit drink. No, blue, no thank you. No blue for me. Blue is a sad color. That's why we play the blues. Don't give me another blue drink. Please, no blue Kool-Aid. No blue Powerade. Leave the blues alone. All right? Because it's created a memory. So we have to look at things and be able to enjoy the moment. Someone laughing at you, learn to laugh back. Instead of getting hurt, laugh back. Pastor, you always bring that up. Stop getting hurt. It's not for you to get hurt. We're not trying to hurt you. We're enjoying a memory that was funny. Enjoy it with us. It passed already. It's not like it's happening again. See, and we need to teach that to our kids. This is what, I'm being bullied. Why are you being bullied? Because he talked about something that I did last year. Was it funny? No, it wasn't funny. Was it funny to them? Yeah, they're laughing. Can we all laugh about it? Tell me about it. What happened? I don't want to tell you, Mr. White. You're going to laugh. I need to laugh. Tell me, what did you do? We need to teach our kids how to be able to laugh at things and instead of getting hurt all over again about something that was funny. When I was in the 5th grade, I didn't know how to speak any English, and I went to school, and I had an accident in school. I spilled the milk on me. And I walked around, and my pants is all wet because I spilled the milk on me. And kids were pointing, and I didn't know what they were saying, but I could assume that they're saying I peed on myself. That wasn't funny. They were all making fun of me. I didn't know how to defend myself because I didn't know how to speak English. But I was strong-willed enough to where I just ignored them. Because in my head, I knew it was chocolate milk. I didn't care if they thought it was pee. You know what? In a week or so, that was forgotten. You know why it was forgotten? I didn't make a big deal about it. I downplayed it. You know, the milk dried up by the end of the day. I didn't go home and tell, Dad, the milk fell on me, and the kids laughed at me. I didn't do any of that. I had forgotten that the milk fell on me. You know, and I guarantee you that if I were to run into a kid that I grew up with during that time, they don't remember that. But it could have been an embarrassing moment if all of a sudden I started to cry and I ran away. I would have made it worse. Instead of being something that just happened, it ended up being, what? When did he do that? I never remember him spilling milk on his lap. I think we need to learn to, not only us, how you react to things, but also teach your kids how to react to things. Everything is not the sky falling. Have you ever had that kid? Everything is the sky falling? I had one kid like that in my class. I'm not going to tell you who he is because I'm not supposed to. But he comes to school and he had a little scrape on his ankle. Mr. White, yes. Do you have a Band-Aid? No. I got a scrape on my ankle. Okay. Is it bleeding? It's bleeding, Mr. White. Let me see. It's a little scrape. You know when you get a little scrape and you just get that little red over it? That's all it was. To him it was bleeding. He harassed me the whole entire class period about a Band-Aid. I don't have a Band-Aid. But Mr. White, the next day, he's bleeding in the back of his ear. He showed me a little dot of blood on the paper. Mr. White is bleeding. Mr. White is going to get infected. The whole entire class time, he just, oh my goodness. And I'm trying to have a regular class time where I'm teaching the kids some song, and Mr. White, it's getting worse. And it's like, leave it alone. But my ear might fall off. And then one day I went to class and I'm doing the roll. I'm like, he's not on my roll. So I asked the student, what happened to this kid? Oh, he moved without meaning to. I didn't mean to, y'all. I did not mean to. Y'all get this? I didn't mean to. Oh, thank you, Jesus. And the kids are like, Mr. White! And I'm like, I'm sorry. Y'all know every single day it's one thing or another thing with this kid. Is his leg about to fall off? His ear going to be snatched out? You know, something wrong with his eye. He's losing his vision. You know, his back is out of joint. And it's like, okay, he is 11 going on 100. Now, I can laugh about it. I could laugh about it when he was in my class because it wasn't funny. Now it is funny because I'm no longer having those moments. You have to look at your life and be able to laugh at things. Stop taking you so serious. I mean, this should help a lot of folks. Stop taking you so serious. Your life is just a life. Live it. Instead of begrudging everything. See, I saw this in a commercial and it was so much logic to me. See, when people come towards the end of a life, they're not going to look at a TV and say, man, if I would have only gotten that TV. If I could have only got the latest phone. Or if I could have only got a faster car. They're going to regret not going to places that they could have. That just kind of blew my mind there for a moment. Because we're all about the latest things. But the latest things are not what's important. It's the living that you do. The living that you get to do is the most important thing that you have right now. You can spend your whole life and do nothing. And later on regret that you did nothing with no one. Or live a life where you're sharing your existence with others. Learn to laugh. See, when I talked about falling in Ocho Rios, there was a time that this person, I couldn't mention that, she was really sensitive. She would have gotten her feelings hurt. Now, she's gotten to understand that if you did something funny, hey, I can laugh at something funny you did because it's funny. Now she can look back and, you're right, it is funny. You don't understand, when I fall, I'm the first one to laugh. And sometimes I don't even make it off the ground. I'm still on the ground, laughing at myself that I fell. I fell last week or 2 weeks ago on the hill. I hit myself so hard I was hurting for like 2 or 3 days. What I did, it was a downhill, but my foot got caught on a branch. And of course, it's a little small piece of branch. So when my foot got caught on it, it rolled. Well, I'm already going downhill, so one leg ended up going a lot faster than the other. So I ended up doing a split on a hill. Pull my hip out and everything, and I'm on the... You ever laugh and hurt at the same time? Oh. Oh. Oh, Dad, are you okay? I'm laughing, but I'm hurting, okay? I'm doing both because it's funny how I fell, but it's hurting at the same time. And I'm not waiting for you to laugh because I saw myself fall in my own head, okay? It was one of those outer body moments to where it's like, this is what you did. And it's like, that is funny, dude. That is funny. And I started laughing. And the more I thought about it, the funnier it got. And then I'm like, what's wrong with you? You know this hill is too steep? Then I start fussing at myself for falling. You know you shouldn't have engaged this hill with these shoes you got on. And that made it even funnier. So I laughed at myself. So anybody that came to help me, I'm laughing. They're like, what happened? I fell. None of them found it funny. They all looked at me, are you okay? I'm okay. I'm all right. I'm still laughing because I'm still hurting. But they're not finding it funny. You know why? They didn't see me fall. If they saw me fall, I'm going to tell you, okay, I was younger then, all right? Don't over-criticize, please. All right, I was a manager at a convenience store in Atlanta, and they decided to remake the store. So where the door used to be, it's now a clear glass. And they moved the door to the other side. And I worked third shift. I worked at nighttime. So they had a little paper on the glass so people understand there's a glass. And it was me and I had a clerk. And I told my clerk, take that paper off the glass. And she's like, but they're going to run into the glass. I said, it's third shift. We got to stay awake. So she took the paper off and cleaned the glass so it can be translucent. And we sat there and watched. And this guy was walking, and he was walking pretty fast too. He was walking, and he said that. And I laughed so hard, I was on the floor laughing. And he came in, he said, "That is not funny." I'm like, "That's because you didn't see yourself. If you saw your face all stuck sideways like this on the glass, and you look, you would have thought it was funny too." It was hilarious. And as soon as he left, I told my clerk, "Go clean the glass again so we can see the next person." It's unfortunate that I was enjoying someone else's misery. I told you, don't be overly critical. But I realize in life, sometimes you can laugh for free. Enjoy the life that you're living. So when you are older and you can think about your life, you can sit down around your grandkids or your great-grandkids, and you can tell them stories of things that you've experienced. It should be things that make them want to smile as well. I get around my family, my older family, and they just make me mad. I'm like, "You don't have anything funny? Everything that you have lived so far is just like misery. You have nothing positive to share with someone." Let's learn to live life, and live life to the fullest. See, we Christians don't have to get drunk to appreciate life. We don't have to get high to appreciate life. We don't have to be sex addicts to appreciate life. We don't have to be an addict of any kind to appreciate life. We can appreciate life simply because life is made enjoyable. Enjoy the moments that you have. You have a little kid, enjoy the little kid, because it won't be long because before that little kid is fully grown. It won't be long. Little Leilani, who's 4, came to our house at 5 months old. Man, that was a while ago. She's no longer that little baby. She has her own opinions. And when she shares her opinion with you, sometimes they're funny. She comes up to me every single time she sees me. "Dada, Lamar is being bad." Because she wants me to admonish Lamar. It's every time. Eventually, she's not going to say that anymore. Just like my little Lizzie, who used to call McDonald's Old McDonald's. Are we going to Old McDonald's today? And I've had to sit there and put that in my memory banks. The little Lizzie that did not understand that Old McDonald's and McDonald's were not the same person. I'm looking forward to hear when she has kids, to hear them say, "I want to go to Old McDonald's." These are enjoyable moments, and we remember them, and we cherish them. And it should be that way. Enjoy life to the fullest, because God made laughter for us to enjoy it. May God richly bless you.